Patient 7. Sure this is. Lord has been working. We're returning to open session now at 6:33. And we're gonna take action on the discussion at this time. But I would like for Ms. Cifuentes to step into the podium. Sorry, okay, do that first. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. No, okay, real quick. Members of the public want to provide public comments on items listed on today's agenda. We recommend you fill out a public comment form on the table in the form and hand it to Gina Gonzalez before the item comes up on the agenda. We recommend you keep a separate form for each agenda item you want to comment on. Members of the public providing public comments, please use the microphone on the podium in the middle of the board. Do we have any public comments? Now, if you want this.
I didn't fill out a card bit, but I filled out. Anyway, it's recommended.
Reports now, okay, well, let me apologize for my way, we're working on something a little bit different this time. All right. We'll go back to the reports and then we'll do the public comments. Okay, middle and high school.
Evening board members, district administrators, parents, and community members. I'm Bailey Gomez, the ASB president and JMS. As we come back from winter break, we at John Muir Middle School would like to share what's going on at our campus. The JMS concert band performance at the first of two California Music Educators Association's festivals last week and earned the amazing rating of unanimous superior. They compete again this Thursday at Kingsburg High School. The JMS girls basketball team finished an undefeated season by defeating Pioneer 49-20 in the South Championship game. This was actually special to me because I was a part of that championship team. Spring sports are now in full swing as the softball, baseball, and track season has started. John Muir Middle School is proud to host the very popular John Muir Invitation on April 9th with 22 schools and over 800 athletes to compete. It is going to be a great event. Volunteers are always welcome. The JMS Chess Club is hosting the CVSCA chess tournament this Saturday at the TLC. Great job, Mr. Sork, and good luck, Bobcats. CAS testing is also getting closer. Students and teachers are continuing their preparations. In conclusion, thank you for letting me share all the great things going on at JMS.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this windy afternoon. My name is Donatien Galindo, and I'm here to provide the high school report. Firstly, seniors have been gearing up for their last semester here at CHS. Senior exit interviews will take place next Friday, where students will come dressed professionally to a mock interview. This is a great way to have future adults of the world have an experience and display their skills and their assets. Last Friday, CHS had its second annual Letterman jacket photo represented today, and they had a great event at the John Muir Middle School. It was students of all grades, teachers of all subjects. They accompanied each other in the auditorium, and they snapped a picture and captured history. And then we all walked over to the John Muir, and we were able to interact with future CHS Panthers, and we were to give insight on sports, clubs, academics, whatever they were asking. Next up is spring sports are in full gear with boys tennis, baseball, softball, and track starting their seasons. Boys tennis is 5-0 in league. Baseball is 3-1 with a nice comeback win against Tulare Union last month, February 28th. Softball had a big win against Fireball yesterday, winning 11-4. There will be a track meet this Friday in Mount Whitney, and we will also be hosting our very first league meet next Wednesday, the 26th at the stadium, so come join. And then our very own FFA went to UC Davis Field Day and competed in the cheese contest, and we placed second overall. Cruz Portillo placed fifth individually. Very nice. And then ASB is currently putting together a dress-up week for spring fever. This is the week before spring break. The theme is to coincide with PBIS and making good choices and avoiding peer pressure. Lastly, seniors got together last week and we met and discussed ideas and thoughts for graduation ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you. Board trustees, the superintendent report first.
Good evening. It's, as the students had mentioned, it's hard to believe that we're 2/3 of the way through the year. This is the end of the second trimester. So there's lots of parent-teacher conferences going on at all of our sites. And as mentioned also, today I met with Mr. Larkin and Mrs. Cruz to discuss options at graduation on tickets and utilizing both sides of the stadium and some different options. So we'll be getting together some information and share it with the board, and we can discuss it here as well. I'd be happy to share a report if that's what the board would like to see. Also, and finally, we met with UC Merced last week. The principals from Mark Twain, John Muir, and the high school to talk about our spring and summer math camps that we have going on. And the goal is to expose our students to some higher levels of math. But one of the things that we discussed is starting to look at how we can accelerate our students in math, starting at the 4th grade level, and hopefully culminating with Calculus BC at the high school. Mr. Larkin's going to talk later tonight about bringing back AP Calculus. So I think we've got a lot of good things in the works, and looking forward to this last third of the year as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Board of trustees. California Faculty Associations, okay. California School Employees Association. Other reports, second interim, Daniel Levers.
Good evening, and I also am surprised at how quickly the year is flying by because we are already now on the second interim report. So our first slide that we have is showing our enrollment. Supposed to show our enrollment as compared to our, yeah. You can stay on that one, Ken.
Okay.
Go to the other one, sorry. So we have the enrollment as compared to average daily attendance. The enrollment numbers are the dark blue numbers. We have been experiencing declining enrollment over the last 4 years. If we look at our average daily attendance, which is the lighter blue color, that is the number of students attending school as compared to our enrollment. It's not as high as we would like it to be. The 21-2 school year was about 94%. In 22-23, 92.4. So that's where we saw a larger drop in attendance as compared to students enrolled. And then in 23-4, we did see a slight uptick at 93.5% attendance as compared to enrollment. And we are hoping to see that same percentage of attendance this year, or hopefully better, and continue to improve that. We would like to see the attendance closer to 96%. How that affects us, in addition to students not being in the classroom and present for instruction, it does also impact our funding. So the green line is our funded ADA. There has been a change in the way that the state calculates the funded ADA. Previously, it used to be the current year ADA or prior year, whichever was greater. Post-COVID, statewide school districts were seeing a drop in attendance. So they added an additional option to allow for whatever was the greatest, the current year, the prior year, or the 3-year average, the preceding 3-year average. So we have been able to benefit from that. You'll kind of see in the green bar section that in 21-2, it was higher than our ADA because we had the prior year's averages to help us out. 2-3, even though we saw that drop, Still, it was a slower decline in the funded ADA because of that 3-year average. And we are now seeing that more steep decline in the current year. And hopefully if we can bring up our attendance percentage, that'll help us out on the funding level as well. Otherwise, we will see that lower funding continue. And on the next slide, it's just a general snapshot of our general fund revenues. So currently we have $63.3 million in revenue, about 48 million of which is our LCFF, the local control funding formula from the state. Of that 48 million, 16,000 per ADA is what we receive if we were to break that out down into an ADA number. And of that 16,000, 5,000 roughly is what we receive for supplemental and concentration funding. So that funding is designated to help support the English learners, free and reduced price meal eligible students, and foster youth students. That funding is what we have to use as our minimum amount for our local control accountability plan that Ms. Mendoza puts together and determines the best use of those fundings to help those students the most. In our next slide, we have a summary of our general fund expenditures. So currently the expenditures are projected to be 65.6 million, about 46 million of which is salary and benefits, and 19.6 all other expenditures non-salary. We go to the next slide. It's a breakdown of those expenditures of that 65.6 million, broken out by function. And the function is the section of our account code that shows or identifies the services that we are paying for by activity. And the left-hand side gives you the detailed breakdown of those exact function codes. And on the right, I have it kind of summed up to group up the items that are all related to instruction or plant services and whatnot. So the instruction is the largest portion at 77%, followed by our plant services, which is like the custodial, ground, or maintenance costs at 13% of our expenditures. Administration costs coming to about 7%. And lastly, the other outgo, that's our COP payment that we have the loan for facility improvements. And additionally, the county office special education services at 3%. So majority of our expenditures towards instruction services, which is good. And our next slide is just a snapshot of those two together. So our total revenue at 63.3 million, plus our expenditures of 65.6 million. We are projecting the current year to have a reduction in fund balance of 2.3 million. The largest portion of that is 1.5 million of which is coming from our restricted programs. So funding that we have from grants or other designated purposes. So those programs are areas of the budget. They're just spending down the money that's already available for them. The other side, the unrestricted side, we do have a decrease to the typo there, decrease to fund balance of 798,000, of which $326,000 are, yeah, 326,000 are one-time negotiated costs that will not continue to be seen in the future years. And the next slide. This is a multi-year snapshot of our current year plus the 2 subsequent years, providing a projection to show if the district will be able to meet the obligations. So in our current year, the significant changes that we've seen since the first interim report that I provided earlier, as opposed to this second interim report, is that we do have all negotiated changes included in the budget, coming to roughly 891,000 for all 3 units. But like I said earlier, only part of that is ongoing. Some of it is one time. Additionally, there were some budget changes that were not originally included in the adopted budget that was presented in June. Our utility costs has increased significantly, around $400,000, which is steep. And then additionally, some other budgetary items that are now reflected in the budget. Over the next few years, the largest items or portions to note are the increased revenue from our local control funding formula. Year over year, we do have a COLA that's projected from the governor. Current year COLA is 1.07. Next year is 2.43% increase, and the following year a 3.52 projected increase. So those that increased revenue is included in the projected revenue. additional items to note is that we do have reductions for one-time expenditures, like those negotiated changes that are just one-time in nature, in addition to other grant expenditures that are meant to not continue, because once we spent them, they won't continue to be spent, and those have been removed from the budget projections for the future years. In the third year out, the last year of our multi-year projection, it is projected to have a deficit spending of about $110,000, but the highlighting factor there is that around $600,000 is expected to increase on our fund balance from the unrestricted side. The restricted program side, where it's those, again, the programs that are earmarked for certain expenditures, that has a reduction or decrease of the fund balance of around $710,000. So together showing the reduction to fund balance of 110. So pretty decent overall. And our second to the last slide here, we have a overview of the entire district fund, all the funds and the overview summary here. So we have our general fund is what we've been looking at most significantly over those last slides. It's where a bulk of all of our revenue and expenditures are. The other funds, we have our student activity, adult ed, child development, cafeteria, deferred maintenance, developer fee, and the capital outlay, which is our facility projects. All those other funds are specifically earmarked for those other projects. Across all funds, we do have close to $36 million projected ending fund balance at the end of this school year. Of that 36, only 16.6 million is set aside for unrestricted purposes, not for restricted programs. So the state requires that we have a reserve of about $2 million. Thankfully, we have more than that because our average payroll is around 3.8 million. 3 months of that average payroll amount, we would want to have about 11.4 million. And with us having 16.6 million, we're in a good position to be above that 3-month amount. So overall, all in all, our current projections are that we will in fact be able to meet our financial obligations and that the district is in a good position, able to report a positive certification. Last slide. Any questions?
Okay. Okay, now we're up to the question. No.
Can you hear me? Yes. Mary Gonzalez Gomez, and I apologize for not filling in that little form. I know it's recommended, but I didn't. Sorry about that. Again, my name is Mary Gonzalez Gomez, and I live across the street from John C. Fremont School. I visit the school regularly, and I visit Shelley Baird Classroom, which is located on the campus, frequently. What? Okay. I visit the principal, Dr. Cifuentes, in her office, and as a member of the Corcoran Kiwanis Club, I participate in the various school activities that take place at Fremont School, and we're looking forward to the math night that's coming up. The current climate, I neglected to say that I do participate in the various school activities. There's so many activities going on there, and the current climate at and around Fremont School is clearly one of learning, positivity, respect, and of welcome. After learning about the recommendation not to rehire Dr. Cifuentes, I met with her in her school office, and I asked her permission to read her evaluation. I left her office and I met with the person who wrote the evaluation. And because this is a personnel matter, I shared my knowledge of what I do know of Dr. Cifuentes and how she performs at Fremont School, and of the significant positive changes that have taken place under her direct principalship. Now, we're fully aware that Dr. Cifuentes came to John C. Fremont School when the school was experiencing numerous crisis situations, serious complaints, and many concerns. She met that challenge, and with the help of her amazing teachers and her staff, modifications were made towards addressing these issues. And I stand here before you tonight to contradict the evaluation and recommendation that was provided to you. The Corcoran Unified School District Board members regarding Dr. Kathleen Cifuentes, our supervisor, and I urge you to listen to the teachers and to the staff who work with Dr. Cifuentes on a day-to-day basis. I watched as 22 letters were handed to the board from the teachers at Fremont School. Please read them carefully. And I want to end with, I do live across the street. I'm in and out of there. I hear every morning, I hear the echo from Dr. Cifuentes. And at first, I must say that it was, a little bit irritating. And I'm really being very honest. And my husband will always say, "Who's that?" But now I can tell, and after that, after visiting with the school and talking to parents, and I talk with everybody. So the parents actually say that the kids look forward to that. They look forward to that because it's positive. It comes from positive. So again, I urge you to consider letting the community, the school, the families keep Dr. Cifuentes. Thank you.
I'm very blessed actually to have all the staff and the support. Very blessed. Thank you.
Consider the second resolution.
I would be privileged and proud to continue serving Fremont. I promised them, I gave them my word, and my word is my bond, and I would continue. I'd be very honored if you would let me do that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
However, June 2024, 5%.
Sammy? Valerie?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
And I. Administration, consider the approval of public high school advanced placement calculus and market.
Good evening. Came to you guys last year about pre-calculus for the high school. We got a little over about 30 students or so in there currently. I was in there the other day. We're gonna break it down with them. The idea though, last year with bringing pre-calculus back to the master schedule was to front load for this next year, 25-26, to bring back AP calculus. So we're ready to do that. We have a teacher ready. Just need to purchase the textbooks. We'll get the kids in there. So basically, I don't know if there's any questions. I can elaborate a little bit more further on why that is. You guys care to hear that, or? Are we adding a teacher or is it? No, current teacher. So basically, we're just modifying the master schedule a little bit to include an opportunity for our UC-CSU going students that want to major in like a STEM field. To help them be competitive, you need to have calculus, right? So coming out of Corcoran High School with college level math prep or something that's not quite as challenging puts our kids at a disadvantage. So we want to make sure that our kids have the opportunity to be able to compete. We want kids to come out of corporate to go to the UCLA's and other higher institutions of learning in the state. So any questions? Thank you.
I motion to approve.
Aye.
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
And I. Consider the approval of master plan for English learners, 4.7. Elizabeth Mendoza.
Yes, Mrs. Mendoza couldn't be here tonight, so she asked me to share with the board a couple of changes and updates to the master plan for our English learner students. The first one is a reclassification criteria to remove grades, and it's strongly recommended from CDE to eliminate grades as a factor and start focusing on the 4 domains of language. The second area that has been changed is updating the clarification and addition of detailed decision-making and documentation of students' language needs regarding students with disabilities. And the final revision is for eliminating the LPAC for TK. The state changed their guidance in 2024 to reflect not TK through 12, but just K-12. So we're asking for the board to approve the new master plan with the above changes.
I motion to approve. I second. Aye.
Danny?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
And I. Consider your approval of paid for education support system services, Charles.
Yes, this is the online tutoring system that we use at the high school and John Muir and Kings Lake. It's an online tutoring 24/7 for students in all subjects. And this is just an update of the service agreement for the next school year. It is grant funded through the Learning Recovery Block Grant. So we're asking for your approval moving forward.
Have a motion?
I second.
Sarah?
Aye.
Sammy?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
And I. Consider the approval of the board policies. We have management of district assets and accounts, food services, child nutrition program, food service operations and cafeteria fund, free and reduced price meals, employee of technology, employee use of technology, recruitment and selection, employee notifications, temporary substitute personnel, bargaining units, employee safety, employee selection, employee notifications, bargaining units, and employee notifications.
I'll second.
Roll call, Sarah,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
These are the following policies that we are given first reading. District and school websites, superintendent's contract, temporary athletic team coaches, employee safety, leagues, temporary athletic team coaches, employee safety, leagues of temporary employment coaches, bargaining units, employee safety, leagues, absence and excuses, parent bargaining notifications, child care and development, before and after school programs, independent study, and the use of student use of technology. Business, consider the acceptance of donation of $1,000 from Corcoran Hospital District and Corcoran High School Red Cross Club. Danielle?
Yes, the high school received a donation, as you stated, from the Corcoran Hospital for Hospital District, for the high school's Red Cross Club, and it's presented for your approval.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Question?
Is this a new club?
Yeah.
Is that what I read on the startup money for the new club?
They've already started, but yeah, we'll help them get off the ground.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Paul? Sarah?
Aye.
Sammy?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Consider the approval of the purchase a Toyota Sequoia for video production. Danielle?
Yes, the high school has received the Golden State Grant, or Golden State Pathway Grant, and they are requesting to purchase a vehicle for the video production class. Included in the packet are quotes of what the estimated cost would be for that vehicle, and it is presented for your approval.
Is the grant enough to pay for the entire vehicle?
Yes.
That's a very nice vehicle.
It-
by the way.
It does look to be a nice vehicle, but yes, there is enough funding to support the entire cost of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Aye.
Tammy,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
Consider the approval of the second interim report.
Yes, thank you. So the second interim report is included in your packet. It's the entire report that goes to the county office and to the state. The presentation I gave earlier is the overview of that report, and it is presented for your approval.
A motion to approve.
Roll call. Sandra,
Aye.
Sammy,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
Now, consider the approval of students aged to Sanford Community High School District.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call. Sandra,
Aye.
Sammy,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
And I. Consider the approval of student B to attend Federal Union High School District. Motion.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call. Sandra,
Aye.
Sammy,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
Resolutions, consider the approval of resolution number 1395, adopting budget services.
So to go along with that second interim report that you just approved, the County Office of Education does require a formal budget revision be submitted. So the included resolution and pages behind it show the detail of those budget revision changes, and it is presented for your approval.
A motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call. Sandra,
Aye.
Sammy,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
And I. Future agenda items. Future meetings, regular board meeting April 9th at 6, April 23rd at 6, May 14th at 6, May 28th at 6. The following topics have been identified for closed session, personal matters. If the comments on the closed session, vote none. We will now adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call. Sandra,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
Sammy,
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
And I. We're at 7:06.
Thank you.